In the sprawling narrative of American leadership, few figures embody such a compelling blend of humility and resolve as Jimmy Carter. From his roots in rural Georgia to the Oval Office and beyond, his life story is a testament to the power of integrity, service, and quiet determination. Born James Earl Carter Jr. on October 1, 1924 in Plains, Georgia, he would go on to become the 39th President of the United States and, perhaps more significantly, one of the most impactful former presidents in history. His journey reveals how character, more than charisma, can shape a nation's course. The fabric of Carter's character was woven in the soil of South Georgia. His father, James Earl Carter, was a disciplined farmer and businessman who taught his son the value of hard work and self-reliance. His mother, Lillian Gordy Carter, a registered nurse, instilled in him compassion, curiosity, and a sense of social responsibility, qualities that would later define his leadership style. Raised in a deeply religious Baptist household, Carter absorbed the principles of service and moral accountability that guided him throughout his life. Education became Carter's bridge beyond the cotton fields. At Plains High School, he excelled academically, developing a reputation for both intellectual rigor and ethical seriousness. His ambitions led him to the UW Naval Academy, where he graduated in 1946 with a degree in naval engineering. This technical training shaped his approach to problem solving. He valued data, precision, and systematic thinking over political theatrics. As a submarine officer during the early Cold War, Carter served on diesel submarines and gained expertise in nuclear propulsion systems. However, his naval career was interrupted by tragedy. In 1953, his father died, leaving the family peanut farm in financial peril. Carter made a pivotal decision. He resigned his commission to return home. This choice would redefine his trajectory, grounding him once again in the rhythms of rural life. Back in Plains, Carter transformed the struggling farm into a profitable enterprise. He applied modern agricultural methods, meticulous record-keeping, and innovative thinking to boost yields and efficiency. Yet rural Georgia also exposed him to the harsh realities of Jim Crow segregation. Though initially cautious about challenging the status quo openly, he quietly supported civil rights efforts, joining the local school board and advocating for equitable funding. These early experiences set the seeds for his future commitment to social justice. Carter's entry into politics was gradual but deliberate. In 1962, he won a seat in the Georgia State Senate, where his analytical mind and integrity earned respect across party lines. He championed education reform, streamlined bureaucracy, and appointed more African Americans to state positions than any previous administration. His 1971 inaugural address as governor boldly declared, "The time for racial discrimination is over," signaling a new era for the South. By the mid-1970s, Carter sensed a national mood ripe for change. The Watergate scandal had shattered public trust in Washington, and the Vietnam War had left the nation weary. Positioning himself as an outsider, he launched a long-shot presidential campaign in 1976. Emphasizing honesty, competence, and a return to ethical governance. His authenticity and Southern drawl contrasted sharply with the political establishment, resonating with voters seeking renewal. Carter's victory over incumbent Gerald Ford marked a turning point. As the 39th President of the United States 1977-1981, he brought a unique blend of technical expertise and moral idealism to the Oval Office. His agenda focused on three pillars: human rights diplomacy. Carter made human rights the cornerstone of UW. Foreign policy, conditioning aid to regimes that violated basic freedoms. This approach strained relations with Cold War allies, but signaled a shift toward values-based diplomacy. Energy independence. Facing the aftermath of the 1973 oil crisis, he established the Department of Energy 1977 and promoted renewable energy research. His installation of solar panels on the White House roof symbolized this commitment. Though rising oil prices and inflation undermined public support, peaceful conflict resolution. His greatest diplomatic triumph came in 1978 with the Camp David Accords, brokering a historic peace treaty between Egypt and Israel. This achievement earned him global acclaim and laid groundwork for future Middle East negotiations. Other notable initiatives included the Panama Canal Treaties 1977, which returned control of the canal to Panama by 2000, improving U.S. relations with Latin America. Expansion of the national park system, protecting millions of acres of wilderness. Efforts to reform the civil service and reduce government waste. However, his term was also marked by formidable challenges. Stagflation. Persistent high inflation and unemployment eroded public confidence. Energy crisis 1979. Gas shortages and price hikes fueled frustration. Iran hostage crisis 1979-1981. The 444-day captivity of 5 Americans in Tehran became a symbol of perceived U.S. weakness despite Carter's covert rescue efforts. These challenges, compounded by a perceived lack of political finesse, contributed to his defeat by Ronald Reagan in the 1980 election. Yet Carter's legacy would not be defined by his single term in office. Rather than fading into obscurity, Carter redefined what it means to be a former president. In 1982, he and his wife, Rosalind Carter, founded the Carter Center, a nonprofit dedicated to advancing human rights, democracy, and public health worldwide. Its impact has been profound. Disease eradication. The center's guinea worm eradication program reduced cases from 3.5 million in 1986 to fewer than 30 annually by 2020. This effort ranks among the most successful public health campaigns in history. Election monitoring. The Carter Center has observed over 100 elections in emerging democracies, promoting transparency and reducing electoral fraud. Conflict mediation. Carter negotiated peace agreements in Haiti, Bosnia, and North Korea, leveraging his moral authority to bridge divides. Mental health advocacy. The Rosalind Carter Institute for Caregivers supports those aiding individuals with mental illness. In 2002, Carter received a Nobel Peace Prize for his decades of untiring effort to find peaceful solutions to international conflicts. His post-presidency also included authoring over 30 books, including a full life 2015, reflecting on faith, leadership, and social justice. Habitat for Humanity volunteer work, building homes alongside low-income families well into his 90s. Advocacy for voting rights, climate action, and refugee support. Key elements of his enduring legacy include moral leadership. He prioritized ethics and human rights in an era of cynicism, proving that principle could guide policy. Diplomatic innovation. The Camp David Accords demonstrated that patient dialogue could resolve seemingly intractable conflicts. Post-presidential impact. He redefined the role of former presidents, showing that influence extends beyond electoral terms. Rural roots. His journey from peanut farm to Nobel laureate inspires those outside traditional power centers. Energy visionary. Early investments in renewables anticipated today's climate challenges. Public service ethos. He lived by the belief that government should serve citizens' needs, not special interests. Longevity of influence. Even in his 90s, he remained active in advocacy, embodying resilience. Jimmy Carter's story transcends partisan narratives. Though his single term in office was marked by challenges, his post-presidential work arguably surpassed his White House tenure in global impact. From the peanut fields of Georgia to Nobel stages, he demonstrated that true leadership often unfolds quietly through persistence, empathy, and an unwavering commitment to the common good. Today, his legacy endures not in monuments, but in the millions spared from disease, the democracy strengthened by fair elections, and the belief that even in divisive times, moral clarity can guide nations toward a more compassionate world. Carter's life reminds us that greatness is not measured by tenure or popularity, but by the difference one person can make when guided by conscience and courage.